A number in your state.
For the last time, good evening, Australia. Funny feeling, but we will go out in as much of a professional manner as we can. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. On a lighter note, I have a burst blood vessel in one eye, which on any other night would keep me off air. One consolation, it's so inflamed, you won't know if I cry or not. Not that it matters. And in the same tone, I went to the dentist today and told him that I was contacting the Guinness Book of Records. It's the first time in my life when a visit to the dentist has been the highlight of the day. Still, we will not wallow. On the program tonight, we'll look back at some of the highlights and the lowlights of 4 years of Hinch. We also have a wonderful story tonight to lead our last program, the story of a mother's devotion to her child. And, of course, a final sports machine. I'm still Darren Hinch. There are two ways you can look at tonight's lead story. First, there is a mother's devotion to her child, so devoted she gave her own kidney to her son. On the second level, as Pamela Graham reports, it again brings home the urgent need for people to become kidney donors, so that in death, a life can be saved.
When Stevie Taylor Allen was born with chronic kidney failure, his parents thought they would have him for only a week. Doctors said he had little chance. But the little battler refused to die, and when this video was taken in 1988, 17-month-old Stevie had just come through 4 hours of surgery for a new kidney, transplanted from a young accident victim. He was then Australia's youngest kidney transplant recipient.
He is something special. When we went through the initial pain of virtually saying goodbye to our son in the Darwin Hospital, anything after that was a plus. He now has a giant future in front of him. We're just delighted, what can we say, you know.
But the parents' joy was cut short. Stevie's body rejected the new kidney, and after just 1 week, it had to be removed, and he was back on peritoneal dialysis. Stevie Taylor Allen is almost 5 now, but he is only the size of a 2-year-old. His 4-year-old brother Ryan is much bigger than him.
We expect him to grow normally after a kidney transplant if the kidney works normally.
Stevie is getting another chance to grow thanks to his mother. Because so few donor kidneys are available, Donna is giving her son one of hers.
He's been exposed to his mother during pregnancy, and there's a theoretical reason why he might take the mother's kidney better.
If the transplant is successful, Stevie won't have to undergo the constant dialysis procedure he and his mother have endured since the first transplant failed.
No, I'll do this one. You pass me your cap. Quick. Good boy.
It's the same story every 4 hours, day and night, and Stevie knows the procedure backwards.
You put the shield on.
Now Donna is ready to make another sacrifice for her child.
That's a lot of people say, how do you do it? I mean, I haven't even had to think about it. I mean, it's just, it has to be done virtually for him.
Mum? Stevie's been told his mum is giving him a kidney, though he doesn't quite understand.
He thinks that I'm going to be little like him. He doesn't quite understand that I'll stay the same size.
Once you've got a new kidney, do you think you'll be more talkative? You will?
At Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital last Wednesday, Donna gave Stevie a goodbye kiss and he was wheeled off for the start of the tandem operation.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm going through it. Good. I'm just concerned about Stevie.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, thank
Medical teams from the Royal Melbourne and Royal Children's worked for more than 6 hours in adjoining operating theatres. While the first transplanted kidney had to be removed because of rejection, Stevie still has his 2 original kidneys. They do no harm remaining in his body.
The first transplant was put in on the other side, but nevertheless there's still quite a lot of scarring. The site where we've put the kidney in is really very close to the previous site, and so there are a few adhesions and there's some scar tissue there, and that just makes it a little bit more difficult.
And where is the kidney sitting?
Well, it's sitting on the left side of his abdomen. It's actually outside the cavity where the intestine is, and it's not that far from the diaphragm and the top end of it, and the lower part is down towards the pelvis, very close to the bladder.
But the end result?
It's good. It's good. The kidney's working well. It's passing urine, and it looks pretty good.
Stevie spent the first 24 hours after the operation under intensive care, surrounded by life-saving equipment, looking like the controls of a spaceship.
This is his 7th operation. And he's had a lot of this before. This hopefully is the last. And he's been through a hell of a lot, and I'd be so happy if this was the last one for him, because he's been through too much.
This morning, Donna saw Stevie for the first time since the transplant, when he was wheeled into her ward.
Stevie, is your tummy sore? See Mummy's tummy? It's the same, isn't it?
But I've got a sore tummy here.
Have you? Where's your new kidney?
Inside here.
Where? Show me. Point.
Here.
In a week or two, if all continues to go well, Donna and Stevie will both leave hospital with the best Christmas present possible.
Hope that convinces you. Make provisions. Be a donor.
The last frontier, the Kimberley Range. Come on an adventure with the wild cattlemen of the Norwest. Men with nerves of steel. Over the range, Saturday on 7.
When you're buying a home, you get hit with all kinds of fees. Application fees, legal fees, valuation fees, commitment fees. They even hit you with...
Hang on. There's a bank that charges just one fee on their flexible home loans.
Really? Which bank? Ooh, glad I asked.
This is New Raid. Faster than you believe possible.
Faster than death?
It works in seconds. Faster than flies can say. New Raid, fly and insect killer. Kills flies dead. Fast.
From the people of Spain comes the world's finest olive oil. Spanish olive oil. The best under the sun. Pure and natural. Spanish olive oil contains no cholesterol and now comes in extra light for Australian tastes. Spanish olive oil. Always look for this symbol.
The Mitsubishi Magna Safari Wagon with $2,800 worth of free extras, including air conditioning, headlamp and bonnet protectors, Venetians, two-tone paint, front and rear mud flaps, wheel covers, chrome exhaust extension, weather shields, roof rack, and exclusive safari badging. The Mitsubishi Magna Safari Wagon with $2,800 worth of free extras.
Hey, if you've got any questions on home loans, don't sit around. Call this number any day and get the answers from the bank.
Which bank?
Tonight, this crazy guy will show us what to do with a few other household items. And there'll be Pippa and Danny making it a real late-night cocktail called Tonight Live.
Nearly 2 months ago, this Australian woman, Susanna Jackson, was accused and found guilty of stealing from royal dress designer Linka Chirac. Her picture was splashed across the Fleet Street newspapers. Now, in this exclusive interview with Jackie Quist, she claims that she was wrongfully convicted and she claims she will prove her innocence.
And as the betrayer and things like that.
It was a sensational trial, punctuated by scandal and betrayal, and with direct links to the royal family. Nearly 2 months ago, 31-year-old Australian Susanna Jackson was found guilty of stealing money and clothing from Linka Chirac, dressmaker and designer to the rich, royal and famous.
Did you steal money and clothing? I've never stolen anything. I was given the clothing to wear. I was given clothing to wear to the races, to parties. It was part of my job. I have never, ever stolen anything from this woman.
Linka Chirac was embraced by London society after she designed a $75,000 wedding dress for the Duchess of York.
She desperately needed someone to sort her business out, and Linka was introduced to me and was told of my experience, and I had 2 interviews and got the job. She was so wonderful, and we had a cup of tea, and, you know, it was like we were sort of best friends almost immediately. I went to the Palace on numerous occasions. We dressed Fergie for the Melbourne Cup last year, which was very exciting, being a Melbourne girl, to sort of have it all come home again. It was really nice. It was great. It was very interesting. It was fascinating. I mean, you were given an insight to a totally different way of life. I was given lots and lots of clothing, probably about 15 to 20 items. It was rather like having a huge wardrobe, and you were expected to look the part.
But the relationship began to sour late last year when Susanna fell in love and became pregnant with Isabella, now 4 months old.
I was seeing an awful lot of Toby at that point, who is the father of my child. She felt it was my job or Toby, basically, so it was very difficult to even talk to her about it. We fell out at that point. That was the end of it.
Or so Susanna thought until Linka accused her of stealing thousands of dollars worth of clothes and checks.
I was arrested in January out of the blue in a dawn raid at 5 a.m. in the morning, which was pretty awful. And I didn't expect it, obviously. I was with Toby and dragged out of bed and taken off to Kensington Police Station. So, rather a shock, to say the least.
Lesbian relationship involved?
No, I'm sorry, I have a child. It's rather difficult to be a lesbian and have a child. No, I mean, I think really it was just a very jealous woman that was being vindictive, and she used the police to achieve what she wanted.
Did you expect to be found guilty?
No. The judge said I was guilty of a gross breach of trust. I was sentenced to 18 months, 9 of which were suspended, and told to go to prison. So that was it, dumped in prison. I can remember just pacing the floor in the cells below the court saying, I want my child. You know, I was yelling it at one point. You feel like a caged animal.
After 6 shocking hours in Holloway prison, Susanna was granted bail pending an appeal against her convictions. That was unsuccessful, but her prison sentence was eventually suspended because she has a potentially fatal heart problem.
How someone who is your best friend can sit there and watch you to go to jail for something that you didn't do is beyond me.
There have been few finer all-round athletes in history than England's amazing Daley Thompson. Over 4 Olympics, from Montreal in '76 through to Seoul 12 years later, the son of a Nigerian father and Scottish mother would become the most watched and talked about decathlete in the world. His Olympic glory years would begin with gold in Moscow, and in Los Angeles 4 years later, he emulated the feats of American Bob Mathias, who won back-to-back Olympic victories over 30 years before. Although it took 2 years to ratify, Thompson's gold medal winning performance in 1984 would see him steal the hearts of the huge crowd and take the world record as well. 7 Sports Olympic Minutes brought to you by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And proudly supporting our Olympic team, Australia's Telecom.
Throughout our history, Australians have realised the secret to survival is in looking after our own. And for 175 years, we have too.
In the early days, Australia's first place of commerce was in the Rocks, and nothing has changed today. From this Saturday, the new Rocks Market will open with the best Australia has to offer. A whole street undercover full of decorator items, homewares, crafts and antiques. Much like London's Covent Garden or the Paris street markets, only closer. So bring the whole family this weekend and make history in the Rocks Market. For details, phone the Rocks line.
Nobody gets away with wasting up a nightie.
While Lucky's future is decided by jury.
You want to put me to the test?
Get away from me.
Carrie's past reveals her dreaded secret.
It's time you knew.
Lucky marries her best friend's father.
We all make our choices.
And makes another enemy.
You just made the wrong one.
She's gonna pay for what she did to my father.
Tonight, all the scores are settled.
We, the jury, find the defendant.
Santino's got Bobby.
The conclusion to Lucky Chances tonight on 7.
Tonight, a case of better late than never. Australia's first National Maritime Museum opened today. It was meant to open 3 years ago as a bicentennial project. 3 years late, this is what they achieved.
This figurehead was built for the Royal Navy, a ship called the Lord Nelson, built just after the Battle of Trafalgar. And then in the 1860s, the ship was handed over to the Victorian Colonial Navy. Each of the colonies then had its own navy. So this figurehead has a relationship with Australia through Victoria. This museum shows, I hope, that maritime history relates to everyone, not just those enthusiasts who sail or who earn their living from the sea. We have the fastest boat in the world, Ken Warby's Spirit of Australia, an incredible boat that he built in his backyard in Sydney, set the record in the mid-70s, and it still today holds the world water speed record. Vampire was built at Cockatoo in Cockatoo Island here in Sydney in the mid-1950s, launched in 1959, was an escort ship to Vietnam. We tend to take it for granted. I hope people who come through here gain an appreciation of the great breadth of our maritime history. I also hope that we can get across the very strong message that we're a national museum, not just a Sydney institution. There's lots in the museum about Sydney, 18-footers and the beach, and a whole lot of themes. Obviously, Australia too is going to be everyone's favourite. In the gallery, literally surging down the gallery towards you, it's sails set, on the same tack, in fact, as it was on when it won the America's Cup, when it crossed the finishing line. And it is, I know it's a word that perhaps I wouldn't normally use, but it is truly awesome. We have Cook's journal in the exhibition, and to see Cook's own handwriting as he describes naming Botany Bay. In fact, he had a different name for it, firstly. That's just an amazing sense. We look at themes which all of us relate to most weekends, going to the beach. And we look at 3 beaches, St Kilda in the Edwardian period, Bondi in its heyday in the 30s and 40s, and the Gold Coast in the 50s and 60s. I suppose the object there that most people will find, well, charming or provocative, perhaps, is the gold meters made bikini.
Coming up, a flashback to 4 years of Hinch. But first, as Jana would say, it's that time of the week and that time of the night for Mike Raymond's Final Sports Machine. Mike?
Thank you, Darren. And, buddy, all the best to you, incidentally. Well, from a trooper to the bloopers, what a guy. Tonight on this final Hinch edition Sports Machine, we look back at what has been quite a week in boxing. There's all the usual slips and trips, plus a big payout pending for the misguided mascot.
Thank God it's Friday!
For those who love the glove, the World Amateur Boxing Telethon had just about everything. Fighters actually outnumbered spectators during the 8-day feast of fistic fury, including a couple of blokes who were over the ropes. Across in the States, it's also been a big week for action in the ring. In this bout between Terrell Biggs and Lennox Lewis, poor Biggsy spent more time on the canvas than Pro Hart's dinner. There was more of the same during the world title shootout when Evander Holyfield buckled Bert Cooper in the first, before going to ground himself. After that, it was all downhill for the not-so-alert Bert, who still can't tell his socks from his shirt. Closer to home, and news surrounding the dumping of Darren has led to amazing scenes in the most unusual of places. Though programmers have denied the closing of Hinch offices earlier today was a touch insensitive. From our Stacks at the Tracks collection, these guys get our 2-for-1 award of the week. While Best Solo Act goes to this bloke who can skid and land on his lid. In American footy, it's been another amazing round of hits and misses. Without doubt, the fanciest footwork to a spotted came from this guy, Ismail. Better known as the Rocket, he can go the length of the field and do what matters, like leaving the opposing team in tatters. Best hit from a game this month, check out Action Jackson in the end zone. Oh, and you wonder why he let out a moan. What a week it's been for team mascots, cheerleaders, and those into safe dancing. Spare a thought then for this crook chook who's been sued for $1 million by a young lady as a result of some horseplay during a basketball game earlier this year. She claims the frolic left her lame and now requires a please explain. With hindsight, she might have been better not answering the call to hug it and gone straight for the McNuggets.
Blanche's brother comes to visit.
Oh, we better put out the welcome mat. We don't have a welcome mat. What about the one Dorothy says is at the foot of your bed?
Have a laugh with the Golden Girls next.
Most people eat roast chicken with skin, but enjoy their rump steak, nice and lean. Which do you think makes the leanest and lightest meal? If you're like most people, you'd probably tip the balance in favor of chicken. But the latest facts prove quite the opposite. This serving of lean rump steak actually has less fat and cholesterol than this same size serving of roast chicken. Much less. Shouldn't you lean towards beef?
Tony Childs has made an outstanding return to the charts with her multi-platinum album, House of Hope. Step inside the House of Hope, a strong and soulful album from Tony Childs.
Thank you very much for the care you've taken. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the home we're making. Thank you very much, very much.
Say thank you with Cadbury Roses chocolates. Whatever the occasion, or for any reason at all. Delicious centres covered in smooth Cadbury chocolate.
Thank you very much for doing the dishes. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much just for being my missus. Thank you very, 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 very much.
Whatever you drive, and whatever type of driver you are, you'll always find the tyre you need at Bow Repairs. Because nobody carries a bigger or more competitively priced range than Bow Repairs. And unlike others, we do more than fit tyres to cars. We fit tyres to drivers. Bow Repairs, the best down under.
I can't own a home, I don't earn enough.
I'll never own. Saving's just too tough.
At 40, no one will look at me.
I've never tried. Home owning's not for me.
You can with Home Fund. You can. Home Fund in New South Wales. You can. I can, you can, we can. With Home Fund we can't fail. You can with Home Fund. You can afford a home today. You can do it with Home Fund.
We did it the Home Fund way.
At a time like this, in a situation like this, there is a lot of black humour with people's jobs on the line. As I said the night that I was sacked by the network, I said the network does have the right to do what it did. I just think it was wrong. Stupid, actually. I guess I was caught between a stone and a hard place. I just want to thank you, the viewers, for your support over the years and also for the ratings right to the last. To my loyal staff, a huge salute. Thanks, team. To the network, as I say in vaudeville, thanks for the loan of the hall. In the meantime, have a look at this. But first up, first night, first edition of Hinch at 7, I want to go to a subject that affects us all. There's another lethal weapon out of control in this country, killing, maiming, filling our hospitals, and tragically our cemeteries. Station libraries, police archives. There are files, styles, over to Lindy Chamberlain, singing footage, released to us by my that high. Those the record, just for the record, France, that is it, my nothing official, all I know is official Wilson land.
We'd like to talk to you.
Get out of it!
Okay, we'll go.
Get out of it!
Much more than this. You can answer it. I did it. Discharge it.
I'll just have to take leave of advice.
Well, do you want to say yourself over any of these? Larceny, shoplifting, deception, false pretences, forgery, uttering.
Headmaster, nearing retirement, was also a penalty.
Start at the top.
This gentle headmaster was
They're doing the community and the forest a favour. They say that we're rural.
Wir senden messages to those clients in the fuel back in office.
I spend a lot of time away with my producer, who is male, and I have dinner with him. He is male. I wouldn't sleep with him for money. Who wrote this stuff? Let me tell you something, you putrid pile of pigeon droppings. That's it. I'm sick to death of people like you making a growth industry out of impersonating me.
Is it? Yes. Hogan's place? Yes. The wedding, I'm going to be at the wedding.
The wedding's over. The wedding's over. Too late.
That's chutzpah. That's life. That's life. That's life. So that's it. On Friday, November the 29th, 1991, that's life. Goodbye.